Delaware in the building. Y'all ain't ready for the Delaware takeover. Y'all not ready for this unique style and creativity that everybody in the world wants to see. Nadjah and Jay is bringing it, and everything they bring got that Delaware swag.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Nadjah and Jay here. This is your sip of local news, what's happening, and
Real world mess.
We're here.
We are still here.
We are here, honey.
In case you thought we disappeared, just hiding below the surface, always about to make a full comeback.
So, temperature check. Jay, how are you?
I'm sleepy because I haven't slept.
Yes.
I've slept some, but not enough because I got some other stress going on. But, pun intended, I'm also, I should talk about this actually. It's not on the show. But, BUTT, I am getting my colonoscopy on Friday.
Colonoscopy?
Yes.
Colonoscopy?
That's a good point.
It's your colon.
It's got to be your colonoscopy. You're
colonoscopy.
Right. That makes way more sense. Yeah, you are right.
Doing the butt.
So I'm a little bit anxious about all of the fireworks that are going to be happening over the next 24 hours before they check me out. And I'm also...
Make sure you get some good air freshener. Get some poopery.
That's funny. So I'm a little bit anxious about that just because it's something new and I'm not looking forward to the process.
It's your first time?
This is my first time in all of the ways. And equally, I'm excited about some things that are coming up in the future. So I'm sleepy, slightly stressed, a little bit anxious, but also excited for the next few weeks.
And you are fully recovered from COVID?
I'm assuming it was COVID.
Yeah.
I was sick for I was out of commission for basically a week. And
then had residuals for a week.
No, I still don't have a full singing voice. I got through a showcase that I did, but yeah, I was out for a week, but I got tested and I did not have strep and I did not have the flu. So it was something. So I assume it was COVID. Yeah. Yep.
And he sounded rough. He did sound real rough.
Nah, it was pretty ugly. That's probably the most...
You do get sick only once a year.
I get sick once a year, and normally it's like 3 or 4 days.
Yes.
But this was a week.
And then throughout the year, you get a tickle and you panic.
Because
immediately.
But I mean, as a singer, that's me losing money. And I always seem to just work around it where I don't have to lose singing money per se, but it's always, it's always a slight risk. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. I have only ever lost my voice completely one time after being sick. And I was singing with that wedding band, the first wedding band I ever sang with. And I remember we had a gig, I had no voice, and that's when the voice called me to say they wanted me.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, I'm at a gig, can't sing. You're calling me because I can sing, and I can't sing in this moment that you're talking to me.
That's terrifying, man.
So if you want to see Jay shaking in his leather jacket and boots, get him before he has to sing and he's sick. That's when he's the most scary.
Yeah, because it's literally out of my control. There's no technique or...
I don't think people really don't get how scared we get when we get sick. Because it's not just have a cold, have a flu. No, if I don't have a voice, I don't get this $1,000, $2,000 check.
And if I try to sing through it, I risk wrecking my voice and doing some form of permanent damage.
Yeah.
And, I'm not a young singer anymore, and I've done a really good job of preserving my voice. So the last thing I want to do right now is start putting damage to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Although you're very responsible when it comes to taking care of your voice, because I barely do warm-ups. I need to get my life together.
I'm responsible there. The only problem is, it's funny, we were going to talk about the Tank interview with, what's the brother's name? The young guy?
Elmiene.
One thing that I noticed on there is at the opening of the show, he he was being super loud and raucous with his voice, which is what I do.
Yeah.
And Elmiene was like, "You do that and you can still sing?" And I was like, "That's exactly where I'm irresponsible, because when I start having a good time, I cackle and grind my chords together, and I know I shouldn't, but like that's me, but I know I shouldn't do it."
You need to laugh from your diaphragm.
Yeah, well, that's not how I naturally
You
laugh.
need to gather all of your breaths.
I cackle and bark. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad you feel better.
Nah, I'm good. How are you? Temperature check. Yeah.
I am on the mend. I'm currently on steroids. So there are moments where I feel great. But I've had the flu 3 times this year.
It's pretty unprecedented.
Yes, I know.
And in a short amount of time.
And in a very short amount of time.
This year.
Yes, this year. Not last year into this year, like this year. End of January into February, and then end of February
spent
into
the
March.
first quarter with the flu.
Literally. We go together. So I am finally, my doctor was like, nah. And so I'm on the mend now. I never lost my voice, thank God. But this cough is whooping my ass. I will say that. I don't like the cough. It's nasty.
Shout out to you for pulling off that wedding last weekend. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank God, because God knows I need that money. Thank God for medicine. But and now I'm able to work from home.
Sound great.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry if I'm coughing in your ear.
I mean, literally all up in everyone's ear.
And then, just trying to be a mom at the same time, and my whole family got sick. It's just been,
Yeah.
So I am feeling much better and feeling a little bit more like myself, and I'm just ready to get away from this part. So hand sanitizer on deck, and trying not to touch as many people or be around as many people.
Happy spring.
Happy spring. Okay. Flowers. Who do you have flowers for?
I think the first set of flowers that I wanted to give was they're both a little bit late, but because we haven't been on the air for a little bit, I really wanted to shout out Howard High School for winning the boys state basketball championship.
Oh.
Yeah, really cool. I mean, Howard is a school that has a wonderful, rich tradition of creating some awesome Black folk. And they have their own sort of tradition and culture. They've been around for a long time. And it's really, it's been the same thing as watching Sinners be so successful. It's like, this is something that you want to see. You want to see those kids do well and to see them get that kind of shine. And, win the state championship is a big deal, because I don't know when the last time they did that. And, just flowers to that team for having such a successful season. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And okay, so Sinners and Howard.
Yeah,
flowers.
How did you feel about Sinners and Michael B. Jordan?
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
I really did. I was I'm just proud. And I don't know when the song will ever come out, but after seeing the movie Sinners, remember the end when they were in the water and the river, and it was at dawn. And then the next morning, they do the thing, and he's looking at his woman and the baby. I wrote a song right after that was inspired by that moment. Like, I combined the 2 moments in my head, even though it's not the same moment in the movie. And it made me write this song. It's called I Woke Up a Woman. Because the power of that moment with Annie, what?
Could have multiple uses, but go ahead.
I can't stand you. I can't. Her character was Annie, right? That's the name?
Yes.
Okay. That moment was so powerful to me, holding her child. And I don't know, I just equated it to the water and being right by the water. So I can't wait to have that song. It's a bluesy song. It's a blues song.
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful. So, I wrote that right after seeing the movie, and then they have all this winning, and you see the performance, and I was just like,
oh,
that song has so much purpose to me now.
Let me add to the flowers in that same vein. Misty Copeland for getting up and
Oh my
dancing
God.
at all after real surgery.
Like 3 months ago.
Like,
Like 3 or 4
what
months.
a savage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like amazing.
Yeah.
And I saw, because I haven't followed her page, and I don't know something came up in my feed where she was showing the scars and what she was going through with the surgery. And that's when I followed her. Not that I didn't have a tremendous amount of respect for her, but it was like, that was some next level stuff.
Yes. Absolutely.
And the fact that she was like, nah, this is an opportunity that I need to put my sort of stamp on was an amazing, amazing thing. And it just goes to show, you know, the it's great to see that kind of grit, and especially in everyone I think respects ballet in terms
Except
of what they have to do.
The Chalamet dude. Except for him.
Yeah, she needs to just stomp him out real quick.
Oh my God. Tap that out.
But flowers to her for showing such grit and for making it happen and understanding the gravity of that moment, because it was one for the record books.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so so this has the announcement, but I want to intro it.
Go ahead.
So the Del Art Museum has an exhibition coming up called Citizen Artist.
I was waiting to see if you were going to be aware of your own job.
I just want to put this out there. I had there was nothing that I was involved with for this. I work at the museum.
No one from the museum.
Right.
Yeah, it was totally independent.
It's a museum related program,
but in terms of how it was selected.
Yes, of how this happened. So when they opened up submissions from Delaware photographers to basically send in photography of what it is to be a Delawarean. Like, what does that mean to you in your photography? And so I sent the link to all of my friends who I, could think of in that moment, who take photos and who are Delaware photographers and videographers and whatever. And Jay was one of them. And he submitted and he got it. And is it Citizen Photo or what's it called? Citizen Photo? It's not Citizen Artist, the exhibition. It's a sub exhibition, like a smaller.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you'll see soon. But Jay was selected.
Yeah, thank you. And I am not one to get excited over awards per se, but I'm excited about this one. Mainly because I have really enjoyed photography, and it just, you guys some of you all know that the only reason I got a camera was to try and make this show more professional as we do a non-video podcast. But, and I fell in love with it and have obtained at least a functional amount of ability on it. And there was no thought that I would ever, maybe not ever, but that with any amount of, within 10 years that I would be inside of a museum is crazy to me. And I'm like, the exhibition starts almost to the T 4 years after I got my first camera. And it's a really meaningful thing to me because I don't know. It's just not something that I expected, especially at, my age, to get into it so late. And it feels good. Yeah. That kind of recognition feels good. It really does.
Yeah.
Shout out to Raphael Sadiq.
It feels good. Well, I am so excited for you.
Yeah.
I really am.
It's exciting. And what it is fundamentally for me is inspiring. It inspires me to do more and better.
Yeah.
That's what it drives me to do, because in as much as I always play tough guy and say I don't need recognition, and I don't, but when I get it, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm excited. So it will, for members of the museum, you'll be able to see his photography on April 10th at the member preview.
It's crazy.
I know. At the member preview. So if you become a member, you'll get to see. You'll be, first up. If not, you get to see it April 11th, because that's when the exhibitions completely open up to the public. So come and support your boy, J Street Jr.
And come support all of the wonderful art that's at the museum. So, yeah.
If you can, what is how would you describe your photography? Your photogenic voice. I don't know what that would be called, but like, who are you in your photography?
I have to be honest, I don't know. I feel like I'm still like, so it took me a while as a singer to find my voice and to really figure out my sound. And I feel like I'm in that phase right now in terms of photography. I don't think I have, like I was actually telling, we talked about this a little bit, but I feel like Sam, our brother Sam Wilson, not all of a sudden, but like now it took him a while, not a long time, but like he has his own style now.
Yeah.
No matter what he shoots. And I don't feel like I'm there yet. For me, where I am as a photographer is I'm just enjoying shooting whatever I want.
Yeah.
And that I think might be what people fundamentally at this point lock into, is maybe they can see that I'm just having a good time in a way, because, either the photo that's going to be on the wall is something that I shot down at the Brandywine. But then sometimes I'm shooting in my backyard and I'm having just as much fun. Sometimes I'm at a random park and it's just me literally having a good time experimenting with whatever grabs my imagination. I'm just having fun. So if there's anything that's there right now, it's just the idea of me. And that's not to say it's going to make you smile or whatever, but I'm just enjoying myself out with the camera and like listening to it click. And I just like the device. You know what I mean?
I think that is exactly who you are in your photography, is I'm just having fun.
Yeah.
Because even when, and you know what I'm talking about, there's these two photos that I absolutely adore. One of them is it looks like it's black and white and droplets of water. So you have all the round circles. And I think it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's a black and white photo of droplets of water, tons and tons of droplets of water. And then there's one of a building.
I know that one you're talking
that
about.
It's very angular. And what I love about those is, number one, why did you think to take a photo of them, right? In the way that you did, so up, like the droplets of water one is up close and personal, and you feel almost like you're immersed in the photo.
Yeah, okay.
And then the other one is angular, but it feels like stress.
Okay.
And the fact that I felt those things looking at those photos, but you're not thinking in it. You're just looking at something like, this looks cool. I want to take a picture of it.
I'm almost like squirrel. You know what I mean?
Yes. So it's literally, I'm just having fun.
No,
that is the epitome of your photography, even with your erotic flower photos, or the squirrel photos and the robins and the cardinals. Like,
it's fun,
you're just having a good time. And I think that right there is your photo voice for now.
Yeah, no,
for now.
I don't, all I want to do is
it's
get
universal.
better.
With every photo that you post, I can see that is the universal underlying, like, I'm just having fun. I'm enjoying doing this, So congratulations to you.
Yeah, I'm excited and thank you.
Flowers.
Yay.
Oh, petunia.
Oh boy.
Oh man. All right. So what do you want to do? Do you want to do the pageant talk, or do you want to do Jack Harlow?
Let's do the pageant.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is something that I'm going to slightly be educated about too, to be honest. So, yeah.
All right. So you're going to have to remind me of how we got there. So for those who don't know, I'm a pageant baby. Like my first pageant, I think I was like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
My mom put me in and I won. And then,
Flex.
yeah, I got my mom a couple $2 to give me some diapers. I can't help it if I was cute, know? But then in high school, I went full on pageant. Every time my mom turned around, I was doing a pageant or a talent show. And I don't know how we got to that conversation.
You had watched a show or some kind of a documentary or something about and you had a very specific comment about it, and you wanted to talk about it. You remember that at all? That's wild.
I don't. Well, I can say that we've had conversations.
There was something that you saw.
I know.
This is craziness.
I can't remember, but I can at least say that Jay and I have had conversations about pageantry. He hates pageants. because he doesn't like the boastful, the look, the dumb blonde persona of it, and it's all about your looks and things. And I have a very different opinion because I was involved in them. And let me give you my like top points as to why.
To be clear, I don't think you're dumb if you do a pageant, but I'll probably come up with the right words for it as you're going through what you're going to say. But fundamentally, something like, how come men don't do pageants? How come they don't have to display themselves in such a manner?
Y'all do in the business, in corporate America. It's a pageant in corporate America for you men.
I don't get it, so I'll let you go.
Your pageant is sports. Your pageant is...
Y'all play sports?
Yeah, but it's different. I mean, is that really... It's not about y'all play sports. It's about the elevation of men's sports and what happens with men's sports. And also corporate business. Like, y'all are always performing to be the one on top, to be the face, to be the MVP, to be the mogul.
So I'm trying to understand.
Yeah.
But women also get very competitive in business.
Yes.
Women also are just as competitive.
Which
in sports.
one makes more money?
No, that's a totally different issue.
But
and
I'm saying,
that's
like,
not okay.
That's
But there's no actual, like, what I'm saying is there's no male pageant. I guess you could say sort of like bodybuilders, maybe.
Yeah.
And I hate bodybuilding.
Okay, well, there you go.
Like, it's absurd to me.
Well, for me...
And there's not even a talent. Bodybuilding, you could actually say, is worse to me because there's no actual talent in terms of, like, you also have to prove that you can do something more than get big. But go ahead.
Yeah. For me, pageants allowed me the space to speak and be seen and care about how I walk into a room. I remember one of my first questions was, who am I? Who am I? Like, and I could say all these different things, but to sit in front of a panel of like 7 people with business suits and, fancy pens and tell them who I am and make it make sense was really scary. Because when I'm just talking to regular Joe, I could be like, oh, I love to sing and I love animals and, I want to be a lawyer. And but these people were like, you love to sing and you love animals and you want to be a lawyer. Why do you want to be a lawyer? What do you love about animals? Are you planning on doing anything with your love for animals or anything with your love of singing? And like, I had to be in order to advance to the next portion of the pageant, I had to convince them that I knew who I was and I knew what I wanted. And I had to be able to explain that. And doing that at 15, 16 years old was very jarring because nobody's asking me that. When they go to the family reunions, they just like, oh, baby, you like to sing? Go ahead and sing that Mary J. Oh, you love animals? You got a puppy? What kind of puppy do you want? Or what do you want to be when you grow up? Girl, that's so good. You're going to make a lot of money. You're going to have all these babies. Like those are the conversations that you normally have. But these people were looking at me and they wanted real answers. They wanted to know, how do you plan to change the world? How do you plan to get your name, in a magazine or in the newspaper? What is your cause? I was like, cause? What the hell is a cause?
So that's all good. Like making a person think about who they are. I respect that.
Yeah.
As I'm thinking through it, I think fundamentally the 2 things that jump in my mind that kind of make me barf are, number one, at least at the sort of, I don't know, higher or elite levels, even though you might have someone from Africa and then someone from Norway, the body type is basically exactly the same. You have to be long and skinny.
Yeah.
And that's not most people.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have a certain look. You can have all the talents you want.
Right.
You can have, like, anybody with any talent is great. Anybody with any amount of intelligence is great. And all that. But you gotta look a certain way.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make sense to me.
I get. I can tell you my first pageant, I didn't sing. There was no talent portion.
And
So I had to rely on just my interviews and oh my God, what do you call it? There were different, like contests. So like Miss Photogenic, Miss Congeniality, stuff like that. And so that whole weekend and the workshops leading up to it, they were watching every step. They were watching you during the group dance. They were watching you during your interactions with the other girls. They were watching you when you were talking about your cause, when you were talking about your education and your ambition. And then even with the swimsuit. Now, yes, there were girls that were all different sizes that were in my first pageant, all different sizes, different races. And there were a lot of girls that looked like the typical, what you expect in a pageant, tall, thin, blonde. Going into this, we all know I'm a Black woman, right? Yes, I am small, and I'm pretty, but I'm still a Black woman. So I was already on the lower part of the totem pole of choice for the pageant judges, right? So going into that, even at 15 years old, because my mom and dad schooled me from the jump. I just want you to know, you about to do this pageant, but you Black, you're not going to win. You probably won't win, right?
I mean, that in and of itself is enough reason for me to be like, absolutely not.
But for me, I said to myself, I'm intelligent. Like, I'm smart and I speak well and I have a great personality, and it challenged me. I have loved challenges forever. Like, my parents told me no to a turtle. I gave them a proposal. Like, I did a whole thing. So I went into it. I remember I called my girlfriend who lived down the street from me. She helped me work out because I'd never worked out before. She helped me work out to deal with my bathing suit body. Because I was like, if I'm going to be up there, I want to at least make sure that I look like I take care of myself. I cared, so I worked out. I ate right. I got up early to rehearse the questions and go over my scripts and things like that. And so when I met with the judges and I met with the other girls, I walked into it with an open mind, not thinking about why I'm going to lose, but thinking about all that I could gain from participating in it. Like, I was like, okay, I know I want to be a singer. I know I want to do something in the limelight. I know I want to, change the world somehow. So, and these girls want to do the same thing, and their parents want them to do the same thing. I know I can meet people. And the coaches that they had who were working through the different routines and stuff, they told us their stories. And I felt like this would be a great moment to at least absorb a part of a world that could take me to the next level, even if I wasn't going to win,
I get it.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that. And I guess, my final thoughts, if, from me, whatever, I guess I just I almost perceive it, and I haven't done it, and I haven't done gymnastics either, but like, we consciously said, you know what, Ray, why don't you do track? Because, and I'm not like Simone Biles is an amazing human. And she's incredible, but I think, I've talked to women my age who got heavily involved in gymnastics, and they'll tell you it was a very toxic environment, despite all the positive things in terms of, you get in good shape and get flexible and you compete. It's just like, it just something
There's
about it.
There's cons to everything.
There are
cons to everything. There was cattiness. There were moments, I remember hearing the comment, the Black ones. I remember hearing about, I remember very specifically my hair. How did you get your hair to lay down?
Yeah, that's craziness.
But because I've lived in my blackness my entire life, I've heard those comments. I've been to private school. I've heard those comments in my entire life. And to me, it was just like, okay, well, that's what it is. It's not going to stop me from trying to learn. It's not going to stop me from trying to grow. And from there, I still use things from pageantry. And the other two pageants I participated in to this day, when I'm speaking to people, making eye contact with them, making sure to take a moment and breathe before I answer, being cognizant of the words that I use. And also, even with the look of things, the one thing I've always loved about pageantry, yes, it is looks, and everybody wants, don't be so harped on the looks, but let's not pretend that we don't live in a world where how you look can sway how someone talks or speaks to you, right? And what I loved was I remember looking at my pageant dresses and even my bathing suit, and it wasn't a sexual thing. Now, I can't speak to how other people are doing it or what they look at when they're doing it, but what I can say for myself was, and the girls that I remember being around, we were very specific on how we chose our dresses. It wasn't to make our boobs bigger or our butts look bigger. I wanted to look like royalty. I wanted to look clean. I wanted to look regal, and I wanted to look powerful. And that's what I accomplished. And I still use that mindset when I'm walking these streets today, not even related to work or just in general. Like I want to walk into a room and I want people to stop and say, "Oh, she don't play. She don't play about herself. She don't play about how you speak to her. I'm going to come correct." You get what I'm saying? And I feel like that for me changed the trajectory of how I lived my life moving forward after pageants. Because a lot of girls don't have that. Like I jokingly talk about how girls don't wear slips no more. Mm-hmm. Like you get these Shein dresses, you get these H&M dresses, and you can see right through everything. And I'm like, your mama taught you nothing? Like I learned about Spanx. Spanx isn't to make you smaller. Spanx is to shape you and make sure you don't look like a frumpy bag of potatoes, you know?
But if you are built like a frumpy bag of potatoes, that's how you're built. And you can still be regal.
For me, there's a way to dress where you can feel sexy and have, a lumpy bag of potato body and still not look messy. That's what I'm getting at.
I get that.
And I feel like there are a lot of young girls and women my age who never had the conversation with a woman, a lady, and she was told, "Sis, your panty line is more pronounced than anything else on your body. Or you might want to put a slip on so we can't see your full undercarriage. That bra is dingy. You should get a new one or wash the one you've been wearing." Like, I don't know. I've always been like this. And I get it from my grandma. My grandma would take us to the dollar store and she'd wear a hat. She had a hat cocked to the side, honey. And we was going to the Dollar Tree. So I don't know. I just feel like it changes the way you feel about yourself and how people treat you. And it gives you confidence. And I feel like a lot of these young girls, you have confidence in the wrong things. Not everything has to be sexualized. And for me, the pageant took me out of sexualizing myself and instead made me more confident in myself as just a strong professional woman.
Just want to go on the record to say that you have a significant problem with lumpy bags of potatoes.
I love potatoes.
But not
I have a giant bag of potatoes in my kitchen right now. When I tell you I baked 3 of them.
All of the lumpy bags of potatoes have been insulted by you in your words.
Let me tell you something. If you feel that you have a lumpy bag of potato body and I've offended you and you would like to come and talk to me, please do. We can have a conversation.
She said she gonna mash them potatoes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Really quick, because I don't want to talk about this. There's a No Kings protest coming up. I don't know what day, but it's coming up in Delaware. I just want everybody. I'm putting this on the record right now. Do not ask me to go to this protest. Do not invite me. Do not come at my neck about not coming. I done the work many times over, okay? I have voted the correct way. I care about my people. I do my own activism in my own way. Me showing up to your protest because your people didn't get it together is not my problem. I've done everything I can do with my little body, and that is where I'm leaving it. And shame on you for trying to shame others for not showing up when we did the work. We've been doing the work. My family has done the work. My ancestors have done the work. I'm cool on that. I don't like anything that's happening within our political realm, whether it's locally or nationally. And me showing up with a cardboard and Sharpie message, walking around for 3 hours, shouting the same thing over and over, does nothing. It does nothing. So stop. Thanks for coming to my no protest talk.
Cool.
I will boycott though. I ain't been to Target since we started. And I ain't going back. And there's that. Okay. Jack Harlow.
Actually, I think it's actually more important to highlight the other brother.
Elmiene.
He's a British.
He was born in Germany.
Born in Germany?
Yes.
Okay.
Born in Germany.
Is he mixed?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, not that it matters.
So I'm just going to preface this. I did not do a deep dive on him.
Okay.
I just saw this initial interview that, shout out to James Wyatt for sending it to me. I saw this initial interview, so I have work to do, but I was already impressed by the first 15 minutes of this interview he did with R&B Money podcast with Tank, and I can't remember the other gentleman's name, but it was a 2-hour something interview, and it was awesome.
What you will see, because this is a contrast thing. One more time.
Elmiene. I believe that's how you say it.
In my brain. This young brother, and when I say brother, I don't even mean black. I just mean young musician. This young brother is an up-and-coming, talented R&B singer-songwriter. And Jack Harlow is, and I'm going to say brother too.
White boy from Kentucky.
No, because he could be super soulful, genuinely, and he could be steeped in the tradition. He could be, but he's not. Hold on. You have a contrast between these two young, quote unquote, R&B singers, and we all know that Jack Harlow was saying that his music got blacker because he's singing in an R&B style. And
did he say his music or him?
I think he said the music.
I think he said him, but
I think he was referring to the music. Like he's like, I got blacker. However you want to take it. And here's the thing. And I do encourage you, maybe we can even put links when we post this podcast so you can see the two different people. And like, if we step outside of music, right? Let's go. You know what I always do?
What?
I turn it into sports.
So I know.
Right? So perfect example, actually. And I can use myself as an example.
My foot is falling asleep. I'm sorry.
That's good. So I spent some time training Muay Thai, right? I did some sparring, but I never took a fight. Contrast that with people who I trained with who have taken multiple fights and actually fought someone. That person is a fighter who is steeped in their tradition, who has studied and done everything that they can within their power to learn a certain craft and then become a part of it. Versus me, who kind of casually dipped his foot in it just for a little bit of fun, which is why you would never see me say that I'm a fighter, which is the absurdity of what Jack Harlow was saying in terms of him, making blacker music. Because just because you play around with it and dabble in it doesn't mean that you are a part of that. Now, there are white musicians who aren't black, but you could say that they make black music because they are really delivering it in the proper tradition. And this young brother from overseas, I guess, who was born in Germany, you'll see in the interview, has spent time studying the greats of R&B, who are, of course, mainly black people from America. And he can speak about it intelligently, and he's done the deep dive. And nothing that I understand about Jack Harlow's background suggests that he's made a similar leap. It's, in my brain, he's very similar to, like, I hope he doesn't go this far, but he's like a Kid Rock. He's like, right now rapping is popular, so I'm going to act like I'm a fucking, wigger and get out here and act like I'm a black guy for a little bit. But when it becomes inconvenient, or if I feel like I don't want to rap anymore for whatever reason, or if I see a bigger market with the country audience, now I can dip out and just, be out. And that's prototypical culture vulture. Versus the young man who is literally digging all the way into Stevie Wonder's chords to understand it. So you could almost take race out of it, even though you can't. But the main thing is, from my end, is you have one person who is respecting the craft and the other person who very much seems like they're just casually dating the culture for fun until they're done with it.
So Elmiene is British and Sudanese.
Yep. That's what I thought. And that's super cool.
Yeah. So,
and even, I'm sorry, real quick.
You're fine.
And this is not a knock, but if Jack Harlow was super whack, he could be like, I'm blacker than you, Elmiene, because I'm American. Because Sudanese is not American black. He's not steeped in the gospel tradition. He didn't grow up with Stevie Wonder.
No, he's no.
And British is obviously not either. But again,
he said his cousins from London were the ones who put him on to R&B music.
And what did he did his homework.
Yes,
and
he did.
That's what matters.
And he learned the piano 2-3 years ago. Mm-hmm. So Jay off the mic before we started recording asked me, why am I so invested? Why did I get so why did I do this deep dive? And I began to tell him that in my musical career, when the question came up about did he do the work, and as I'm listening to Elmiene and as I'm listening to Jack Harlow, I started thinking about myself and the work that I have done for my career and my sound. And I was immediately taken back to all of the times that I studied an album and an artist. I studied the notes, I studied the writing, I studied the sounds, I studied the imagery around it, and I didn't even know that's what I was doing. That's the funny part. Like I knew that I loved Esperanza Spalding. Like once I was introduced to her, the music was like, it took me to another world. And then I saw her big hair and she looked like me, and I was like, oh my God, I need to hear more. I need to know. I need to, and it might have been the ADHD hyperfocus, but I remember listening to every single album. And then I remember questioning why she did this. Why did you choose this? Why did this happen? Why did you write it this way? Why did you name it this? Right? And then I started thinking about all the other artists that I've studied so that I could understand. And what I know and now looking back, I now see why the music that I'm writing for my album sounds the way that it sounds. It's because I found the artists and did deep dives on the artists and their music and their catalog that made me feel safe and made me feel heard and understood. And that is the work that goes into creating an authentic sound, no matter what genre or what your artistry is. It's finding what feels like home in your influences that help to create who you are as your own artist, right? So I had seen all of the Jack Harlow memes and stuff, right? And all the clips. I got Blacker clip. I saw the clip with him and Ebro in the morning, and they were playing the classics, and he had no idea, which was from 3 years ago. I want people to realize that was 3 years ago. I saw the Monica comedy skit that people said came out before he named his album Monica, and then the memes about him, it being my nigga, essentially. You were going to say something.
Fundamentally, the comment, if he had any common sense and awareness, the fact that he made that comment is everything you need to know about his understanding of the culture, because it's no different than me walking into, say, a gay space, and just because I hear them saying the F word, thinking that I can play along too.
Right.
Like, no.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Right.
I'm not going to walk into a room with you, Taki, to hear me like, bitch, I'm not going to do that. Like, no, you better sit your behind down.
And he did it in front of two white people.
Like, exactly. So the fact alone that he didn't have the awareness of that lets you know how connected to the culture he actually is. Because if you were, you would never do it. Just like Eminem would never drop the N-word. You know what I'm saying? Like he knows better.
Yeah.
He really was a part of it, so you know your place. And if you know your place, you don't say that.
Yeah. So why did I get so invested? I got invested because I was very curious. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen the Miley Cyrus moments where she decided to try and, have her dabble in blackness. And then as soon as it became comfortable enough, then she switched to what she wanted to actually do. We saw it with Post Malone. We see it with a lot of different white artists that will jump onto the I'm white in a black genre. And then when they get the success that they need, then they have the privilege to immediately switch to whatever it is that they want to, and they continue that success.
And every musician has the right to jump ships from genre to genre if they want to.
Yes.
But there's a certain respect afterwards that you have to like, especially when you're dealing with black people. I don't care what you say. Like the idea that what's this Jelly Roll dude?
Oh yeah.
That you're gonna, be play this, I'm part of the part of a certain culture, and now you just go hardcore. Now you're MAGA. Like, nah, bro. You should have never been invited to the barbecue in the first place. Kick all the rocks.
Yes. So for that reason, and I've never really cared about the white artists and black genres thing. Like, I focus on the people that I like, right? But for some reason, I kept seeing the memes, and because of Trump and where we are in life right now, it just, it obviously is on my heart. So I started watching the interviews and stuff. Now, I'm going to give you this. I've not listened to his music. I've heard his hits because they're on the radio or they're memes. But I didn't choose to listen to the music. What I have heard is what was in clips from his interviews. And so his interview with the two men from Popcast for the New York Times podcast, there was a lot of commentary around him going into this album. He started a different album and he said he wasn't feeling it. And then he changed directions and decided to do this album, which he calls an R&B album. And he said that he went into this with some rules. It's egoless. Like, it's not about him. He didn't want any egos. He didn't want to rap. He didn't want any cursing. And he want all live instrumentation, and the only thing that could be electric was the drums. So, and then in the interview, they kept talking about his influences. And you know who they mentioned? Which is questionable, but I'm going to stick to what I know. They kept mentioning Erykah Badu and D'Angelo. And from my generation, they are not R&B. Everybody keeps saying that he made this crooner R&B album, and his influences were the R&B artists D'Angelo and Erykah Badu. And I was very right there, that stuck with me probably the longest, because for my generation, and I understand that a lot of those artists at the time did not like being called neo soul, but it is what it is. They were part of a movement coming out of the 90s R&B, the 80s and the 70s into a new sound. And so in a sense, neo soul is legit. And those were the catalysts, some of the catalysts of that movement. And so for you to sit here and say that your influences were R&B artists, Erykah Badu and D'Angelo, and that's why you felt like you were comfortable enough to make this R&B album, which the clips of the songs from the album do not sound like R&B. Mm-hmm. That's right there told me everything I needed to know.
I think there is a generational gap there, and I think even if you talk to some younger black kids, that they have a different sort of definition of what R&B is.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately, if you are committed to doing a reasonable self-education, that you'll then realize that no, this actually isn't what I'm saying it is. So
right.
Yeah. Right.
And there was a lot of conversation around him. Like, for instance, on the album, they brought up, and I think he's had some good media training since that Ebro in the Morning, when they were playing the classics like the Frankie Beverly and everything like that. He had no idea what that music was. Since then, he's had some media training. Because for him to have the conversations he was having with these two guys.
You should probably be in a pageant.
Huh? What'd you say?
I said they should have probably put him in a pageant.
Oh, he would have won, honey. He would have won that sheet. He was prepared this time. So he had people like Raven Lenae, James Savage, Robert Glasper, Hollywood Cole, Jermaine Paul, all of these people. What's his name? Corey Henry. He was like, one of the things that I made sure I had was roads.
He also just sounds like a dumb kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's a little bit of both, you know?
What I will say is I do 1000% believe that he is a fan of the music. And I can appreciate that because I'm a fan of the music. I'm a child of the music. And I love that you said, I'm going to make this album based off of what made me feel good, right? The problem with that is you still, as Ebro in the morning and his people said, you still didn't do the work. And you walk up in here and you have all of these very like, this is what I'm doing and this is what the sound is. And but you didn't do the work. And on top of that, the clips that I did hear of him singing, R&B singers sing.
That's actually, I think, a fundamental point that's being missed. He's
Yes,
not even a singer.
R&B singers sing. The Popcast, they pulled a clip of him singing.
I think we've totally missed the main point is that he's actually not even a singer.
He's not even singing. He's not a singer. And he even said, I don't want to be considered a singer. I'm a rapper. Yeah, because
Then
you're a
not
rapper.
an R&B person.
And what Drake is one of his closest friends, apparently.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because people say that Drake sings and he doesn't sing. He is singing a melody.
You can
but
hold
he's
a
not
note.
a singer.
You can sing a melody.
Singing
that doesn't
a
make
melody
you a
doesn't
singer.
make you a singer.
So to have an R&B album.
That's the fundamental. We actually have spent a lot of time missing the entire point. There's no way that you can say that you are making R&B if you can't even really sing. If you're not a singer,
Right.
you're not doing R&B. Y'all should see me right now. My arms are spread all the way out. I look ridiculous, but we've actually missed the entire point. Like, what he said is offensive in terms of saying, he's black. But honestly, every person who has ever sung a song, Tina Marie, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not even a singer.
He's not even a singer.
He's not even a singer.
Oh, and he didn't go to a vocal coach for
He's
this
not even
either.
a singer.
He didn't go. He didn't have a vocal coach for this album.
What I'd like for you guys to do is like make me like
He said, I wanted it to be real intimate. And I wanted you to feel like you was in the room with me.
And he's never been in a black room with black people singing actual R&B.
Now,
I mean, maybe he has.
If he said,
I don't know that, but
if
I'm
he
just
was going lo-fi hip hop with a neo soul blend,
Vibe.
yes, perfect. That would have been great. From what I was hearing in them clips, that's what it gave. But to say R&B, because R&B is so cherished.
It's rooted in
sacred.
singing.
It's sacred.
It's rooted in singing.
It comes out of gospel music. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
He's not a singer. I think I'm done with it. I'm not.
And he says he wanted to do something.
Where's he from?
Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky.
If Jack, if you hear this, go to the black church first. Just reset.
Go to black church,
Start
honey.
over. Spend a summer at black church.
It just and it
make
also
sure that you don't leave the church without at least leading one song one time, even if it's terrible.
Yeah.
Like, you have to sing at least one gospel song. And you can be horrible, but that's step one. Yeah.
I think the other things that bothered me were when they talked about, there was a conversation about what he was wearing. And in the video, he's wearing like this, I don't know what you call it, but a quarter zip sweater. Cream, it's giving common. And apparently he's been wearing like a Kango or something like that, some type of hat. And he was like, it's not a cowboy hat. And for them, that was a moment. And they were like, so did you get that for the album? He was like, no, I just liked it. I put it on and it felt good. And what it made me think of is you are cosplaying.
No, it's the same thing as if I put on a pair of boxing gloves and shin guards, show up at a fight and say I'm a fighter. No, you have never fought in a ring. Stop it. You're a casual, fun observer.
But here's a perfect comparison to the Elmiene interview. So there was a moment
and
where
Elmiene was singing
that nigga, he was singing every 5 minutes. But here's the thing. So homeboy Jack Harlow is talking about the hat, right? Is that it's not a Kango. Is that
I
Kango?
didn't see it. It might be.
It's the one, you know who Donnell Jones is.
Yeah.
The hat that he wears.
I don't know what
Hold on.
that's
I'm about to pull up this
technically
picture.
A Kango.
They called it a Kango. Hold on.
Well, that's really just a brand, to be honest, also. Is it the LL Cool J style? No.
Hold on. This hat.
Let me see.
This hat.
So Kango, they make a hat in that style.
Yes.
But it has to have the sort of.
Look up Donnell Jones and y'all will see a hat that he's wearing.
That doesn't make you an R&B singer.
But
it just
wait,
means you in a
so here's
costume.
the thing. So he says, Jack Harlow says that that hat just makes him feel good.
Great.
Right? Donnell Jones is an R&B singer.
A singer.
He did not mention him once in the interview, but Elmiene talked about how he found his voice. One of the things that influenced him was Donnell Jones, and he starts singing the music.
You have to sing.
Isn't that crazy?
Well,
we're
yes and
sitting
no.
here. We got the white dude talking about how he's got R&B influences, but he's talking about neo soul artists, and he's wearing the Kango style hat or whatever, and how that just fits him. When Donnell Jones wears that hat, and he's an actual R&B singer, and Elmiene, who is, younger than him, and he's singing Donnell Jones music and talks about how he studied him.
He's singing.
It was, for me, like watching those two interviews, I was sitting there cracking up because I'm like, this man really just doesn't. And the sad part is, Jack Harlow also doesn't understand the privilege that he has to sit there and have this conversation. And then if he decided tomorrow that he was going to do country rap, or if he was going to do a pop album, that he would completely be able to do that with no issue at all. No one would question it. And no one would really even question.
They'd be excited for it. They'd be excited. Yeah.
Like, that's what pisses me off. Because the other thing is, you want to be blacker. Okay, so where are you when it comes to the rights? And because that's what we also have to remember. I don't care what anybody says. When you're in the limelight, you have a duty to stand up for people. And when you are immersing yourself and claiming to immerse yourself within a culture of people who have been marginalized and beaten and all these things and treated poorly for hundreds of centuries, and you're wearing your fucking Kango hat and you're talking about you got blacker and you've done nothing for the community.
Can you just learn how to sing?
You don't even know Frankie Beverly and Maze. You wouldn't even know what to do when that music came on at the barbecue. You wouldn't be able to sit at the table with the adults.
And just learn how to sing.
It's so irritating because then he's this big star with all this money, and the people who are actually doing the work, putting in hours and thousands of dollars into an album that won't even be looked at because of people like you.
Respectfully, I think we've given him too much attention that he doesn't deserve. Go check out Elmiene.
Elmiene.
I'm sorry.
Let me make sure this is right, because if we both saying it wrong.
Go check out. We're going to post a link, but check that brother out because he's young. He is steeped himself in the
Elmiene.
He has steeped himself in the tradition as much as possible.
My God.
And he is the person that you should be paying attention to.
Yes.
Pay attention. Put the light on him. I don't want to even say the other brother's name anymore today because he's gotten too much attention.
I just have to say,
go see Elmiene. Period.
One last thing about Homeboy in the Kango hat. When asked why he named the album Monica, I just want to preface that he had no idea who Monica was. The actual singer, the R&B singer. He said that he always liked the name, just like he always liked the name Adrian for a guy. And that is why he called it Monica.
Elmiene is amazing. You should really go check him out.
Woo!
Elmiene. I said it wrong again, and that's
I'm going to punch you in your face.
Elmiene.
Do the work, Jay.
That's fair. That is totally fair. Follow Elmiene. Yamin.
Okay. One last thing. So y'all know ICE is at the airports. I just want to say, I need y'all to go back to the Project 2025 workbook, and I need you to do a little bit of reading, because it is all spelled out that they are trying to privatize TSA and all of the steps that they were going to take to do that. I also need you to look up the SAVE Act and really understand what it is. I need y'all to stop taking things for face value just because someone in a political position tells you this is what's right. I need y'all to start reading and comprehending what you're voting for and who you're voting for, because you look at these faces, you listen to all these lies and promises, and you just go with the flow, not even to realize that you're going to end up putting all of us in basically the Handmaid's Tale. That's where we're on our way to. TSA takes 6 to 8 weeks of training or more. My father was a TSA agent for years, okay? This is military man. This is former police officer, TSA. And they have very extensive training. So because we're not paying these people, We are now at risk of having real problems at the airport, not just what happened on the runway with the fire truck and the plane crashing. Like it's also about what goes on to the plane, who's getting through. And so when you put ICE agents who are barely trained enough as is to do their own job in replacement of TSA agents who are trained thoroughly to make sure that you can get to Boca and to Cancun, we have a problem. We have a serious problem. And it's all because of y'all president. It's because of these Republicans. It's because of these spineless Democrats. I need y'all to read. And since we are now in election season, there is no better time for you to pick up your iPhone, pick up your iPad, your Kindle, your laptop, whatever, and start reading about the SAVE Act and start reading on Project 2025 and familiarizing yourself. Because if not, we're really going to be royally effed up. And this is not just affecting America. It's affecting the world, which ultimately will affect America even more because America, we don't have nothing barely. We import almost everything. So these rising costs, these aren't just Trump. This is you. This is your people. These are your friends, your family that decided that they were going to follow what's different. We're picking Trump. We're picking all these Republicans because they know what they talk about. They know how to run a business and they running us into the ground. They are running us into the ground. Do some reading, please. Because if not, we are doomed. We are seriously, seriously doomed. And that's it.
We are excited about a couple of things coming up. We can't go into details right now, but we had a really cool meeting about something last night. And I will say this from my end that this is actually, as we kind of close it out, this will tie it all together. This is another place where we got some unexpected appreciation for what we've been doing over the past 4 or 5 years. And without being able to give details yet, we are appreciative of that. And I think that that we are excited about what is coming this summer. We hope that it all works out. I want you guys to obviously pay attention. But in as much as we have been sort of struggling to get you the content that you need, we have some nice upgrades coming this summer if all things come to pass as we expect them to. Yeah.
We're excited.
Yeah.
And we want you to be excited with us. We appreciate you for riding along with us. It's been 5 years. I just want everybody to know our 5-year anniversary is May 4th. 5 years of us figuring it out.
May the 4th be with you.
Figuring it out, working hard, failing, winning, learning. It's been crazy.
It's been great. It's been fun. We've been having a good time. And that, yeah.
And you've been on this ride with us.
Yeah.
Some of you new, some of you old. We're so thankful. So don't give up on us.
No. Thank you for following us.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got things coming. So we will see y'all very soon. Have a wonderful week.
Peace.
Bye.